We had our full moon in Scorpio energy just pop off, and today Mercury retrograde has ended. Mercury has went direct. However, today you might feel stuck between energies because we have our moon still in Scorpio and it will switch into Sagittarius today. So it can have the potential to lighten a lot of energies today, lighten a lot of moods, but it can also reveal a lot of truths. And we have some interesting energies that are going to be popping off. So with Mercury now direct, it's going to take us a little bit of time to stabilize the energies that we have, and it might be a little rough trying to make sense of anything at this time. So there may be feelings of being guarded today, of being defensive today, and a little bit of restlessness because we're not used to the newer energies that are being integrated into our systems right now. It's different frequencies when we have these celestial alignments. So interactions with others today may cause a lot of confusion, and it may cause some conflict if you're not careful. Yet again, you don't mean to do these type of things or have this type of outcome. It's just the type of energy for today. So Mercury retrograde is ending, and it is going to remain direct until August 5th. So for the next 3 months, expect to find some really large shifts in energy and in your reality. But this is good. It's going to bring new ideas. It's going to bring new perspectives, new chances, new inspiration, good news. It's also going to bring about clarity and progress, accomplishments of your goals. So bringing all of those dreams into reality, completing or going still on your soul purpose to the end goal. And if you're vibing high enough right now, you will receive those karmic rewards. So yay. So the energy is a little intense today with Mercury retrograde ending, with our full moon. We're kind of stuck in between energies. It's kind of hard to navigate through it, but we also have solar flares that are playing into it, and we have a magnetic stream between Earth and our coronal holes. So let's get into that. So here are our main flares that we have had today. Not too many, pretty low class. We did have a M-class flare, and we just had another M-class flare, sending us into an R1 radio blackout. 3638 right here has headed off of the sun. However, it did give us an M2 solar flare and a response with a R1 radio blackout. It also gave us a C-class flare. This C9.3 that sent us into a type 2 and a type 4 radio blackout, which we are in right now. And on top of our new radio blackout that we just had with this M-class flare, this is about where we are today, right now, current moment. It is almost 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So this is where our radio blackout is. It's going to move and pulse in the absorption throughout the day, but this is where we lie right now. Communication issues may be a effect over in these areas. You can see over on the East Coast here, we may have a small minor effect with GPS and navigation and brain function, because we had a plethora of M-class flares pop off. Now we had 4 M-class flares go off at the same exact time. There were no coronal mass ejections that were associated. So the doomsday reports that you had out about, oh my God, there's 4 and they're Earth directed, they're not. There's nothing there. So let's just get that out of the way. Fear factor is not going to work on cold, hard data. So sorry, it's not going to happen. But we do have a high number of sunspot regions on our sun. We have 14, and we have still more coming over here. So our main regions that we are going to look at is 3645 and 3647. That is heading off of the limb of the sun. We have a very small chance of having any Earth-directed components if we have an X-class or a high M-class flare from these regions. So we're just going to take note of that. And we're also going to look at 3654 right here, which in the next coming of days, it will be Earth-directed. So here we are with 3645 and then 3647, which is around here. They're basically one sunspot in my opinion, but both are in beta range. Both have a 5% level of protons if it does emit a coronal mass ejection. So we're going to see a slight chance of having an S1 solar radiation storm if both of these regions do pop off. We also have a 5% chance between these two regions. Both have a 5% chance of producing an X-class flare and M-class flares, which we already have had from 3645 and of course 3647. And this is 3654, and in the next coming of days it will be Earth facing. It is in beta and gamma range. It has went up in size, has went down in the number of sunspots, however, because it is producing more of those CMEs. Proton level, kind of low. X-class level, it's there. And a 20% chance of having M-class flares, 70% chance of having some C-class flares, which we are already seeing from this region. And over the next 3 days, we can expect to see some moderate levels with our sun. M-class flare probability is pretty high for those R1 and R2 minor to moderate radial blackouts. We do have a slight chance of having that X-class flare, which can produce a strong R3 radial blackout. However, that has not happened, and I don't see that happening. This is a look at our far side of the sun. You can tell right here that we are going to have a larger sunspot region. Let's see if it's a skeleton or if it's an active region. Doesn't look like it's producing much of anything right now. Very low C-class flares as it heads onto the limb of our sun. But over the next couple of days, we'll see exactly what these regions look like. We are also going to have some enhancement in our solar winds. So today, tomorrow, the next day, and on Sunday, we can expect to hit KP3 to KP4 levels, maybe into those G1 geomagnetic storm levels. We do have a slight chance of hitting that. So between the 25th, the 27th, and the 28th, expect to see some enhanced solar winds because we have multiple transient plasmas that are going to influence the Earth. It's going to be a grazing blow. That's why we have a slight chance of reaching those G1 geomagnetic storm levels. Is there a chance of it going higher? Yes, there is, but we're predicted at a KP4 in the present moment. The solar wind right now is ranging pretty low, almost barely at 300 kilometers per second, about staying the same basically, and our density about the same too, very low, so it's not going to be a heavy feeling and it's not going to be pressing against your body, increasing those ascension symptoms, which is always nice. But we do have many large coronal holes. One is Earth facing. This is causing a connection with Earth that is going to increase these earthquakes over the next few days. So the weekend may be a large uptick in earthquakes. So we do need to keep watch of that. I will show you in a second exactly how many we have. But you can see our active region right here, 3645 and 3647 that are heading off of the limb of the sun. Lots and lots of light coming over here. Now this is where our far side new region is coming out. Not too much going on here yet the next couple of days, but we will see an enhancement with these coronal holes that are Earth facing right now. Yet again, increasing that solar wind speed, maybe going into G1 geomagnetic storm levels, maybe. But our earthquake watch is ramping up to high levels this weekend because of that central hole connection to the Earth magnetically. But we have already seen some larger earthquakes today. We have a 5.1, a 4.9. We have a 5.5 here over here in the island region. So we have a lot that is going on, a little bit that is happening here in America, but a lot of earthquakes over the weekend. And I do want to point out that in the past couple of days, we have had multiple earthquakes in Idaho around Yellowstone, literally surrounding Yellowstone. So this is something that we need to look out for, because if we have active regions over by our supervolcano, this could cause quite a bit of problems. We also had a New Mexico earthquake, and of course Alaska, which does get quite a bit of earthquakes over there. So our energy needs to stabilize right now. Yet again, you may have a sense of losing your mind or nothing is making sense, and it will dissipate, yes, but right now it's going to lead to a lot of confusion and maybe conflict, cognizance problems, especially if you're trying to navigate through the energy transit. But as a result of Mercury going direct, expect to see new ideas and inspirations and your goals being achieved and good news. So it's going to bring a lot of prosperity. But be mindful of when we have these influences that you may not feel the best, that you may have an increase in ascension symptoms, and it's kind of hard to function day to day. And that's okay. If you need to break, if you need to take a break, please take a break. Take a moment to pause and rest. Do your self-care and carry on. Love ya.